The August sun baked Meadowview, my Minnesota suburb, where my 10-acre property stood as a quiet retreat. I was sipping iced tea on my porch when a sleek SUV pulled up, and Karen Walsh, the HOA president, marched out, waving an eviction notice. "You're out, Aisha. Your land's HOA property now," she barked, claiming my private lot, outside their gated community, was annexed for unpaid dues I never owed. Her plan? Evict me and sell my home to her cronies. Karen, a self-styled real estate queen, had bullied neighbors for years, but she'd picked the wrong target. What she didn't know was that Aisha, a retired lawyer and sole landlord of Meadowview's HOA clubhouse, where they held their meetings, wasn't going anywhere. My property was deeded to me, free of HOA control, and I held the lease to their precious clubhouse. When she slapped that notice on my door, I tripled their rent overnight, turning her eviction into a financial nightmare. I stood on my porch, phone filming, as Karen's smug grin faded, neighbors peeking from their yards stunned. This wasn't just a power grab. It was Karen's boldest scam, blind to my legal clout and ownership. My lawyer's instincts kicked in, a smile forming. She thought she could evict me? I was about to turn her notice into a viral takedown, with my community and county allies ready to crush her HOA. Meadowview would rally, and Karen's eviction would cost her everything. What unfolded wasn't just me saving my home. It was a masterclass in justice, community strength, and legal vengeance that left the HOA bankrupt, Karen's scheme exposed, and my property untouchable. My lease wasn't just paper. It was her undoing, and the sheriff's boots were closing in. Meadowview was a vibrant Minnesota suburb. Its wildflower gardens, cozy diners, and my Meadowview Cafe, a haven against HOA overreach. My 10-acre property, on private land outside the HOA's gated enclave, was my sanctuary, a modern farmhouse with a garden and pond, free from their rules. As landlord of the HOA's clubhouse, a sleek building on my adjacent lot, I held a lease they'd signed years ago, unaware of my ownership. I'm Aisha, a retired lawyer, Meadowview Cafe owner, community organizer, and landlord who'd quietly outsmarted HOA bullies before. My property was deeded to my family decades ago, with ironclad legal protections, and my clubhouse lease gave me leverage over the HOA's operations. My decision to triple their rent was a calculated strike, backed by my legal expertise and a paper trail they couldn't escape. Karen Walsh, late 40s, was a ruthless HOA president, her designer sunglasses a mask for her schemes. She'd fabricated an annexation claim, hiring 2 lackeys, later identified as Greg Holt and Tina Foley, local realtors, to serve my eviction notice, alleging I owed $50,000 in fake dues. Her scam was a bold bid to seize my land, backed by a small HOA clique. Key allies included my brother, Jamal, a county sheriff, my friend Maya, a tech-savvy cafe manager, Linda, a councilwoman, and Ethan, a local journalist. Neighbors like Mabel, who'd seen Karen's SUV, and the Meadowview Forum, our online hub, would amplify the fight. Sheriff Carla Ruiz and my lawyer, Samir, were on call to back me up. The setting was my porch, an August morning in 2025, with cicadas humming. Karen's lackeys taped her fake notice to my door, her HOA annexation order claiming my land. My cameras, discreetly placed around my property, caught every move. Karen, by her SUV, dialed 911 when I handed her the new lease, demanding my arrest for fraud. My land was mine, and her stunt was a felony. This wasn't just about my home. It was Karen's assault on our community's spirit. As I filmed, this fight would spark a Meadowview revolution. Karen's eviction notice was a gut punch. "You're gone, Aisha," she sneered, filming me with her phone as her lackeys grinned. I stayed calm, handing her the revised clubhouse lease. Rent tripled to $15,000 monthly. "Your tenant's on my land, Karen," I said, filming. Her jaw dropped. She hadn't known I owned the clubhouse. I called Sheriff Ruiz, who said, "Fake eviction? We're coming." Jamal texted my deed. "Karen's toast." Maya sent my lease records, saying, "You've got her." I confronted Karen, phone rolling. "Your notice is fake, and my cameras caught you." She waived her order, claiming I owed dues. I live-streamed. HOAs tried to evict me. I just tripled their rent. Hashtags hashtag HO evicts Aisha and hashtag save Aisha's home trended, hitting 4 million views. Ethan streamed from the cafe, showing my deed. Meadowview stands with Aisha, he said, hitting 5 million views. Linda handed out flyers about property laws, explaining, Aisha's land is private. Karen's a fraud. The forum surged, with posts exposing Karen's past scams, finding gardens, towing cars. Hashtag HO evicts Aisha went global, with a tweet. HOA Karen tries to evict homeowner, doesn't know she owns their clubhouse. Hashtag rent takedown. Karen rallied her lackeys, shouting, serve her again. But neighbors swarmed, chanting Aisha's home. Mabel filmed Holt and Foley, catching their fake IDs. I share my camera feed. Karen stealing my land. The clip hit 50 million views. Maya arrived, saying she bullied my cafe. We're testifying. Her online clout rattled Karen's crew. Ruiz and Jamal sheriff team rolled up, lights flashing. Drop the notice. Jamal ordered Holt and Foley, who froze. Karen screamed, arrest Aisha, but Ruiz held up Mabel's footage. You're committing fraud, she said. I live-streamed. Karen's eviction is busted. My lease wins. The stream hit 80 million views, with news vans arriving. Comments flooded. Aisha's a boss. Karen's done. Linda arrived with a county assessor, announcing Karen's stunt is a felony. The crowd chanted home free as Karen's lackeys fled. The forum planned a home strong rally at the cafe, with music and property law talks. Karen tried one last lie, claiming the HOA annexed my land, but Ruiz showed my deed, ironclad. The stage was set, not just to save my home, but to bankrupt her HOA and rally Meadowview. Her notice was trash, and my lease was a guillotine. My porch was a justice arena. Karen stood by her SUV, trembling, as Ruiz questioned Holt and Foley. The livestream hit 120 million views, with hashtag HOEvicts Aisha and hashtag Save Aisha's Home trending globally. Neighbors packed my lawn, waving signs, Aisha's lease, no HOA fraud. News crews broadcast live, anchors calling it a homeowner's stand against HOA theft. The air buzzed, and I was ready to bury Karen's empire. Ethan addressed the crowd, voice clear. Aisha's land is private, HOA exempt. Karen's eviction is a felony, caught on camera. He showed my deed and footage, proving her guilt. Neighbors gasped, sharing the clips online. Linda handed out flyers saying, Aisha and Maya fight for us. Karen's trespassing. The forum surged. Karen's evicted. Aisha's a hero. A viral tweet read, HOA Karen tries to evict homeowner, gets hit with tripled rent. Hashtag HOEvicts Aisha. Karen tried to spin it, shouting, Aisha's land is ours. But Ruiz held up Holt's texts. Karen ordered the notice. You're forging documents, she said. Karen's face fell. She hadn't known my ownership. National property groups joined X, posting, Karen's fraud is a disgrace. Support Aisha. The Change.org petition, Save Aisha's Home, hit 7 million signatures with comments like, Aisha's a legend, and Karen's done. Linda spoke to reporters, voice firm. Aisha's home is our heart, and her legal skills protect us. Karen's scam threatens our community. She announced a council motion to fine the HOA $150,000 and ban fake evictions. The crowd roared, chanting home free. The HOA, crippled by debt, leaked emails disavowing Karen. She acted alone. Neighbors blocked her SUV, demanding justice, as Maya filmed. I grabbed the megaphone, heart racing. Karen thought she could evict me, but I own their clubhouse, and my lease says no. I proposed a home-strong rally at the cafe, with lease workshops, music, and a fundraiser for legal aid, revealing my plan to cancel the HOA's lease entirely. The crowd cheered, volunteering to testify. I shared online, Karen's eviction failed. Join us to keep our home strong. The live stream hit 180 million views, with hashtag HomeStrong trending. Comments flooded. Aisha's unstoppable. Karen's broke. Karen made a last stand, yelling at Ruiz, "The HOA's above you." But Jamal revealed task force evidence. Karen's calls to halt. "You're charged with fraud, trespass, and conspiracy," Ruiz said, cuffing her. The crowd parted, phones filming her walk to the cruiser. Ethan's stream hit 200 million views, with comments like, "Bye, Karen." Lease wins. News ran headlines. Homeowners rent hike stops HOA Karen's eviction. Maya organized kids to paint home-free signs, while Linda tied it to her council work, saying, "Aisha and Ethan guard our homes." Ruiz cleared the notice, and neighbors guarded my lawn, turning chaos into unity. Linda promised county funding for an Aisha's Haven sign, marking my property status. The stage was set for a victory that would save my home, end Karen's reign, and show Meadowview's power. Karen was cuffed, but what happened next would shock everyone. My lawn pulsed with triumph as Karen, Holt, and Foley were cuffed, their fake notice confiscated. The livestream hit 250 million views, with hashtag HOEvictAisha and hashtag SaveAisha's Home trending worldwide. Neighbors filled my property, guarding my home as news crews filmed. I held the megaphone, my roles as lawyer, landlord, and organizer of Beacon, my lease our weapon, ready to bury Karen's scam. Ruiz addressed the crowd, voice commanding. Karen Walsh and her accomplices faced charges of fraud, trespass, and conspiracy, with up to 7 years. The crowd roared, waving home-free signs. Ruiz added, "Aisha's land is private, and her cameras sealed their fate." Neighbors cheered, phones filming for the forum, where comments surged. "Karen's done. Aisha's our queen." Linda took the stage, resolute. "Aisha's home is our soul, and her legal skills are our might." Karen's scam was an attack on us all. She announced the council's vote, a $150,000 HOA fine, a ban on fake evictions, and funding for Homestrong. The crowd chanted "Home Free" as kids handed me painted house keys, symbols of our win. Jamal showed my deed, proving my authority. "Aisha's lease crushed Karen. Like my badge crushed her," he said, sparking applause. I unveiled an Aisha's Haven sign sketch, county-backed, to mark my land status. "This home's ours, not Karen's," I said, sharing it online, a house under a gavel. The forum erupted. "Perfect. Aisha's legacy." Ruiz confirmed the evidence. Cameras, deeds, Holt's texts, was airtight. Karen and her crew pleaded guilty, facing jail and a town ban. My digital dossier, videos, deeds, lease records, was handed to the press, ensuring convictions. News ran it live. Homeowners rent hike stops HOA Karen's eviction. The crowd surged, music blaring, as Homestrong plans took shape. I gave the mic to Maya, who shone. "This is our fight," she said, laptop in hand. "Thank you, Aisha." Neighbors hugged her, patrolling my lawn in solidarity. The sign contest launched, with entries flooding the forum. This wasn't just Karen's defeat. It was Meadowview's triumph, proof our homes could outshine fraud. As dusk fell, my property stood secure, and my lease gleamed. Karen's conviction was Meadowview's victory. News ran headlines like "Rent Hike Crushes HOA Eviction" and "Aisha and Ethan Triumph." The livestream hit 600 million views, with hashtag HOEvictAisha trending for weeks. Fan art of my lease, as a justice hammer, flooded the forum, and legal aid groups invited me to speak. Talk shows called, but I stayed humble, saying, "This is about our community." Homestrong was a sensation. Thousands joined, neighbors, kids, sheriffs, attending lease workshops, dancing, and unveiling the Aisha's Haven sign. The cafe catered, and Ethan led talks on property rights. The event raised $600,000 for legal aid, and county leaders hailed it as a model. The forum buzzed with photos. Aisha's home shines. No more Karens. The HOA collapsed. Linda's vote fined at $150,000 and banned fake evictions, with new laws requiring county oversight. Karen, Holt, and Foley got 7 years each, banned from Meadowview, and vanished. Karen to a city condo, reportedly arguing over fees. Don't evict like Karen became a local joke chalked on sidewalks. My property became a tourist draw, with visitors posing by the sign. The cafe and my rental income soared, hosting home nights with music and legal talks. Tourists flocked to Aisha's haven, boosting sales. Neighbors brought gifts, key charms, sheriff badges, saying Ethan and I inspired them. Jamal's patrols kept my land safe, celebrated at a community feast. The digital dossier, videos, deeds, leases, was studied for property laws, influencing policy. Maya led cafe tours, calling my lease Aisha's shield. Linda mentored kids, painting eco signs for my garden. The forum planned a home freedom fest with music, legal workshops, and sheriff demos, cementing our spirit. Aisha and Ethan turned Karen's scam into our triumph. One post read, I hired teens to monitor my cameras, giving them pride. At the fest, under a Homes Forever banner, Linda toasted, to Aisha, Ethan, and Meadowview, where freedom stands tall. Fireworks burst, kids danced, and my home glowed. Karen's scam had been a spark, but we built a legacy. The cafe, my property, and our community were our stronghold, proof no bully could uproot our spirit. As stars shone, I knew Meadowview would always stand bold, secure, and free.